Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, we have a video that I've never seen before, and I don't think many people have seen this. It's going to be Michael Jackson performing Beat It live in 1984 without any backing track or, help track with the vocal or anything like that. It's going to be just Michael singing but doing all of his dancing as well. And I think this is probably the clearest representation that I've ever seen of Michael singing live while doing his choreography and how that affects his vocal. I mean, a huge bonus for guitar fans. In this video, we've got Eddie Van Halen on guitar. And I would say that this live performance is what I'd class as just old school, where you haven't seemingly got any backing track elements on there. It's just a band performing this song fully live, and there's nothing really here that I would attribute to a backing track. So I'm going to play a bit of it. I'm going to leave the link to this video in the description below, as always, if you want to watch it without me analysing it, because I can't just play it through on my channel, because that's never going to be covered by fair use or fair dealings as it is here in the UK. This is an analysis video, but I will just play a little bit of it so you can appreciate the kind of quality we're dealing with. I mean, it's not high quality in terms of the audio, but just the sound and the vibe of the live performance. So, I mean, listen to this. We've got pretty much a dead mic, a dry mic that there's not a lot of effect on it at all. And we've got Eddie Van Halen on guitar. We've got rhythm guitar in there as well. But from what you can hear, it just sounds like the band. We've got bass, we've got two guitars, we've got drums, we've got Michael's voice. And I think because I'm so used to hearing the huge production that Michael would have live with all of those backing track elements, even with lead vocals on the backing track, but having a lead vocal there that he kind of drops in and out of, this is great to appreciate his vocal. So again, you can watch this performance in the description below, because we're now going to jump into the isolated vocal from this live performance. And I've run it through pitch monitoring software so we can start to look at Michael Jackson's pitch accuracy while performing fully live without having any vocal on a track or a backing track going on, and just see what it sounds like, but what it looks like as well.
Don't you ever double rock, yeah. Wanna see you think you better disappear. You're gonna say your life better do what you can. Don't beat it. Don't beat it.
The first thing, I have to say, how accurate he is at hitting pitches already straight off the bat, and he does something that he did on the studio recording.
Don't you ever double rock, yeah.
With the here, he's ever so slightly flat, actually between the G sharp 4 and the A4. And he did that on the studio recording, and they kept it in, and this is why it's got such a natural flow to it. So, studio version, isolated vocal. By the way, the live version was a semitone lower, so they have just detuned to make it, a little bit easier on the vocal cords live, especially with all of the dancing and moving. But have a listen to this.
They told him, don't you ever come around here.
So, we actually started sharp of the A sharp 4. I'm going to be comparing everything with everything now. And in the actual live performance, we touched the A4 perfectly here and then went a little bit flat. And here we are flat of the A4, but then this is going to be the A sharp 4 where we are flat of it here. So it's amazing how just for that phrase that he throws up there, his vocal cords just had the tendency to be a little bit flat. So yeah, really interesting. But we'll listen on to the live performance.
You better disappear. You're gonna say your life. Better do what you can. Don't beat it.
You can hear that breathing because of all the movement that's going on.
Just beat it. You better run. You better do what you can.
Same thing here. Amazing. We have the A4, which we are so accurate with. You know, slightly flat, and then you're pretty much bang on, ever so slightly flat. Came up here to between B4, C5. Have a listen.
Do what you can.
Actually, he was sharp there.
And you better do what you can.
And right at the end of this phrase, again, between the G sharp 4 and the A4. So that means on the studio recording and now live twice after this vocal phrase, his final little flick up that he has is always just a bit flat of the A4. But there are so many things that are unique to one particular singer and things that they do that they're not intentionally doing. Michael isn't trying to hit between the notes here. He's trying to hit as close to the notes as he can get. But he has a natural tendency to just, after this phrase, be, flat of the A4. But what's great about it is that on the studio recording, they didn't then do that again and try and get it closer. They just left it as it was, which means that now this is absolutely an authentic replication and an authentic performance when comparing it to the studio recording, because it's hitting really, as near as makes no difference, the same pitches even when they are flat. So yeah, but it's great because when you look at voices in this kind of detail, you start to notice these tiny things that singers aren't doing intentionally, but their vocal cords just do. Obviously, if this were to be tuned, this would be moved up to the A4 up here, which means that you now wouldn't be able to pick up on just this natural tendency that Michael had. Again, end of the phrase, a little bit flat.
Better do what you can, don't beat it. But you're gonna be dead. Beat it. Beat it. No, beat it.
So that was really cool there. The way that Michael gets into such a lighter sound for this part in the chorus, but look at the variation that we've got going on here with pitch, because that's an A4. Have a listen. Look at the difference, ever so slightly sharp, a little bit flat here, and then more sharp, and then pretty much bang on that A4, and now he changes into this really light, into this almost light falsetto sound. Ha, ha, ha. Whereas before, he had that ha, that more connected sound. So listen to that transition again. No one. It gets really light with it. But what's interesting here is because he doesn't have a lead vocal on a backing track, it means that he's saving energy, saving his voice in sections of the performance. Have a listen. And then he stops singing. It doesn't. And then he lets the backing vocal then take on the rest of the phrase.
Just beat it. Just beat it. Just beat it. Just beat it. I think that you better leave what you can.
Oh, wow. And there we have it. He went a semitone sharp. But it's because he just released into his head voice. So now he's actually a semitone higher for 2 notes in a row. But that's just because he threw his voice up there, and you can hear that he just lets go of it. Like he's not kind of forcing the voice up there, he's just letting it flip.
I think that you better leave what you can. Wanna be a boy, you wanna be a man.
So yeah, I mean, that's really interesting as well, because he flips, but then he catches when he comes back down into, you know, what effectively would be kind of his mixed voice, or more of a chest voice, rather than kind of coming down into a light sound. Because that kind of thing, I'd imagine, for other singers would totally throw them off, because they'd know that they've flipped and that their voice has gone, you know, significantly too high. But then he just comes back and locks in again.
You gotta say a lie, that do what you can, no feeling, just feeling. You have to show them that you're really not dead.
And now he doesn't allow that flip to happen. But I mean, it is interesting to hear how after that last time, he now makes this conscious adjustment.
You have to show them that you're really not dead. Playing with your life to say no to the fair. Check you and they beat you. Then you ain't fair, so beat it. But you gotta be fair. Beat it. Beat it. No one wants to beat it.
Again, getting into that light sound, but he had a really cool little tail off there as well.
Going hot, but it's talking just like doesn't matter who's broken. Beat it. Beat it.
And he's still doing that little tail off.
No one wants to beat it.
So, I can't resist having a look at Eddie Van Halen's solo. And I don't want to get this video copyright blocked or anything. So if the solo now doesn't exist in this part of my video, you'll know what's happened. It's been removed. But let's have a listen.
You got it, Eddie! Eddie! Eddie!
And that's what can happen in a totally live performance. That Eddie was kind of way ahead of really where he should have been, according to the backing. But yeah, when you're playing on stage, sometimes you can't even hear your guitar, and you can't even hear the backing. So yeah, but he kind of went through everything technically, you know, as he should have done. It's just that the timing was a little bit off. But, you know, that's live. He wasn't pretending to play along to a backing track. He was actually doing it. But, I mean, it's great because this is so kind of stripped back. And, yeah, I mean, I've already said I haven't really seen anything like this from Michael Jackson before, where it's almost like he's just the front man of the band. Obviously, a front man that does a lot of dancing and moving around. But it gives you a great appreciation of how much the movement affects the vocal. And just as a final bit of fun for tonight's video, we're going to be looking at the overall pitch of live on the right hand side, studio recording on the left, and these lines are in line with each other. The live versions are semitone lower, so I've just moved the graph up a little bit so we can see the consistency here of what's the A sharp 4 there, but the A4 live. How even here you've got to take into consideration that he's moving all over the place and dancing, and this is a studio vocal. So when we kind of move through it, you start to notice how in this live performance on the right, he's still nailing the A4, you know, once, twice, 3 times. Here, once, twice, 3rd time. Actually, in the studio, he was significantly sharper than he was when he was running around dancing on stage. So, yeah, it's amazing to have a look at this data. Another thing here, look at stopping off at the G sharp 4, stopping off at the G4. And, yeah, I mean, it's amazing to look at this side by side for where here, again, in the studio, ever so slightly flat on the A sharp 4, ever so slightly flat here. Then he kind of locks in the studio and he locks in live. Little bit flat here, little bit flat here. He was more accurate live than he was in the studio here. So, I don't know. Hopefully this puts it into perspective. I have said in the past about Michael Jackson's voice that he's probably one of the most accurate singers that you'll see for pitch. And that's why I used him as an example, to show that when you're looking at 2 separate takes, and I actually took 6 takes of Michael Jackson just saying, we are, we are the world, just going, we are, just that first part, how 6 of those don't line up. Even though he was so accurate, all of them would have a slightly different phrasing, slightly different pitch, just to, make the point that when you're looking at different versions of a vocal, when we try to line these up and get them to go over the top of each other, it will always look like a mess like this, because they're separate vocals. It only matches and will only kind of go over the top of each other and trace itself when it's the same audio file. It has to be exactly the same audio file, exactly the same vocal. So yeah, amazing to look at this side by side. And yeah, just these little bits here, ever so slightly sharp here, ever so slightly sharp here, in exactly the same bit of the song. But the other thing that you'll notice is, as we move it forward, I always say about live performances, there's a certain energy within the performance that more often than not, especially with this kind of song, will make the band play it faster. And it's just, I don't know whether it's an adrenaline thing, excitement, or the energy of playing live, that songs get played faster when they're not being played to a click track, of course, played a lot faster than they were in the studio. So even though we're going to be having these being sung in different keys, have a listen to how out of sync we are. Look.
You have to show that you're really not scared. You're playing with you like this ain't no truth or dare. They'll tell you it's fair.
So in the live performance, we're already into the chorus.
So beat it, but you wanna be bad, just beat it.
And now on the studio recording, we're into the chorus. So yeah, you can really appreciate how much quicker that live performance is going. That into the chorus, we've already left that studio recording way in the past. So yeah, that's just something that happens with live performances. And when you are watching a band truly live, each performance is unique. So yeah, I don't think you can beat that spontaneity. But here, obviously a lot of excitement with playing it live, but absolutely fully live, and really interesting to hear Michael Jackson's voice in this kind of scenario. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video tonight, but also requesting it in the first place. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!